Welcome back to the Anfield Exchange, and tomorrow Liverpool take on Wolves at Anfield, and what an opportunity to bounce back from that Everton draw in the midweek. We're not going to touch too much on that Everton game, but we've had a little bit of sketchy form recently. If you include the Plymouth game in the FA Cup into it, we drew with Everton, we got beat by Plymouth. This is a perfect opportunity to really come out there and show that we are here to win the title. We mean business, and it's, I think, the perfect fixture for us. We've got good history against Wolves in the last sort of 10 years. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Wolves have definitely improved of late. I think with a switch of manager, Wolves look like they are more free scoring. What I will say is I thought we were a little bit harsh that Gary O'Neill got sacked. I thought he deserved to have more points than what he did have because his performances were there. And yeah, unfortunately, he just wasn't picking the points up. They had a really tough start to the season, and I think by the time the easier fixtures came around, they were that low in confidence that they just couldn't pick the results up in those games. So yeah, I feel bad for Gary O'Neill, but look, Wolves, it's not going to be an easy game, is it? Watching the press conference yesterday, Arne Slot has confirmed that Gomez is out. He's confirmed that Trent, well, we know that Trent's back training, but he's also confirmed that Gakpo is a doubt for this game, which was a surprise to me. I know he came off in the midweek against Everton, but it didn't look like it was because of an injury. It just looked like he was trying to change the way the game was going. So yeah, possibly Gakpo could miss out on this one, which would be a shame because certainly his form at Anfield has been brilliant this year. I think he scored in the last 6 games at Anfield. So yeah, I think he could be a big miss if he doesn't start for us. But we'll see. We'll see what comes out tomorrow in terms of a team sheet. In terms of, we know this is a quick turnaround from the Everton game, and that was a physically intense game against Everton. The guys were off on Thursday. They had a day off on Thursday, the players, so they had a chance to sort of recover there, and then obviously 2 days to sort of get in and recover completely from the Everton game. I believe Arne Slot's going to be in the dugout after that sending off against Everton. I think there's a delay that's, we're going to see a suspension for Arne Slot, but it's not quite done quick enough for this Wolves game. So Arne Slot will be in the dugout for this one, which is a little bit frustrating because potentially he could miss the games against Villa or Man City, even Newcastle. This is probably the game you'd want him to miss, but yeah, I mean, what can we do? We don't want him to miss any games. We want him on the sideline. Curtis Jones definitely suspended for this one, obviously after the red card against Everton. I think Curtis Jones probably would have started this game if he was available. I think with the fixtures coming up, we need to rotate, and yeah, I think this game Curtis Jones probably would have started, and then we'd have had the first team midfield in the Villa game. Because he's not going to be starting this one, I think potentially Curtis Jones could start in the Villa game. But again, speculating. We'll see what Arne Slot does. Let's talk about the threat from Wolves that we could potentially cause. I think Matheus Cunha is the obvious name on everybody's lips. Brilliant player. Even Arne Slot alluded to it in the press conference yesterday. I think Arne Slot said something regarding in Holland, the 17th place team wouldn't have a player who could play in the top 5 when referring to Matheus Cunha. And I agree with that. He gives me Firmino vibes, and obviously as a Liverpool fan, that's always good. I think he would, if Jurgen Klopp was still manager of Liverpool now, I think Cunha, certainly the way he's come out this season, I think Cunha would probably be top of Jurgen Klopp's list. But yeah, he is a player who he can drop in the pockets, he can score goals, he can run into the channels. He is a brilliant player. His first touch is fantastic. He scored some great goals as well this season, hasn't he? But yeah, Cunha is one to watch. I think if you nullify the threat of Cunha, I think you're 3/4 of the way there to stopping Wolves. It's just whether you can do that, because he has the freedom in that role he plays. He has the freedom to move all over the pitch. So it's not going to be a case of one player marking him out of the game and stopping him getting the ball, because he'll turn up on the left side, he'll turn up on the right side, he'll turn up down the middle. So I think you've got to make sure that everybody's aware of Matheus Cunha, unless you're going to do a man-mark job on him, which I don't think you would. Potentially, if you were going to, Gravenberch might be that one for that role. But I think Gravenberch will be important as well, because majority of the time Cunha picks up those pockets between the midfield and defence. So I think it will be on Gravenberch to just keep an eye on him, keep with him, make sure he doesn't get too much of a ball, and yeah, I think we'll be fine. I want to have a discussion about a striker position for Liverpool, because I'm not sure. Well, I am sure Luis Diaz is not it. He's put in a couple of performances in that role. I'm not convinced by it. I think the two games, look, Luis Diaz was rubbish against Everton. Against Plymouth. He played on the left. He played up front against Everton. I thought it was rubbish again against Everton. I'm done with that experiment. I said that in the Everton reaction video to the game. I think this game is cut out for Jota to start against his former club as well. I think you just need somebody on that pitch who knows how to put a ball in the back of the net. Nunes doesn't know how to do that. Diaz is not that type of player. I think this is set up for Jota to start this one. And then if he can't play for 90 minutes, just get them goals early on and give him a rest towards the end. That will be my preference. Again, we'll have to wait and see if he's fit. Simon Hooper, the referee for this game, not one of my favourite referees, but look, after the Everton game, I don't want to go into the refereeing debate too early or too much. I'm going to leave his performance to speak for itself. Arsenal play Leicester 12:30 today. This could be have a massive impact on the mindset of Liverpool fans, Liverpool players tomorrow. I don't think it will necessarily impact the Liverpool players. I think it will be more of the media that try to sort of make it into something. Arsenal take on Leicester. I don't think this will be an easy game, especially if you look at Arsenal. We're missing Saka, Martinelli, Havertz, Jesus. They're out of attacking options, so I'm looking at their attacking options being Nwaneri, who I really like, to be fair. Trossard, maybe Sterling. I'm not sure. From what I've seen of Leicester recently, against Man United, against Tottenham, they actually look really good. In terms of possession and on the ball, they look really, really good. I think their problem is putting the ball in the back of the net. Arsenal obviously got a solid defence. I think this could be a low-scoring game, and I think Arsenal will struggle to score goals. I also think Leicester will struggle to score goals. So it's not going to be easy. But listen, if Arsenal do walk away from this with 3 points, I think that's not a good thing in terms of a title race, a good thing in terms of us going into our games with Wolves, because it gives us the understanding that, right, this is what we need to do. And I think when we're in that situation, we'll go on and we'll do it. I think I'm going to say 2 wins this weekend for Arsenal and for us. But yeah, let's say Arsenal do drop points in this game, I think that will be massive for this title race, and I don't know if Arsenal would be able to come back from that. I'm not going to speak too early, but yeah, I think we're still in a very good position with 7 points clear. Arsenal are playing first. They have to win. They have to win, because I think we will win. But we'll wait and see. In terms of the next few weeks, what they look like, we've got Aston Villa in midweek. We've got Man City at a weekend. We've got Newcastle midweek. And that's it for February. And then we've got a bit of a break until we play Southampton. That's on the 8th of March. We got 3 tough games after this, and we're going to need to rotate. We have the strength in depth. The problem, what we need to do is make sure we're not making wholesale changes like we did against Plymouth, which we wouldn't do. We just need to make sure we rotate when required. I'm still a little bit worried about Canate, whether he's still fit, because obviously at the minute Joe Gomez is injured, what potentially could be for the rest of the season, which is a shame. Kwanzaa, I like Kwanzaa. I don't know if he's good enough in these situations under pressure, and he's still young. Kwanzaa plays well when there's no pressure on him. When there's pressure on him, we see some heavy touches, we see him giving the ball away. That's what would worry me about him coming in to replace Canate in this title race. We just have to hope Canate's fit, but equally we do have to rotate and give him time off when he needs it. Same with players like Gravenberch, Andy Robertson and Simicas. I think that's going to be massively important, because I don't think Simicas is good enough, but I think Robertson will struggle to play these 4 games in a row. So we are going to see both of them players alternating. Trent's just back from injury, so yeah, we've got a lot of players that we do need to rotate over the next couple of weeks, and try to ensure that we don't see any more injuries, because that's what could derail the title if we pick up injuries, especially to important players. But yeah, lot of things to think about for Arnie Slot. We're going to try and make it easier for him. I'm going to go through my lineup, who I would play today, and I think I'm going to do that going forward. Normally I look at Arnie Slot's probable lineup, but I'm gonna give you my lineup, who I would start today, with the mind, bearing in mind that we've got Aston Villa on Wednesday in the week. So in goals, obviously Alisson. I think Alisson, that speaks for itself. Best goalkeeper in the world for me. So yeah, if you've got your best goalkeeper available, you're going to put him in. In defence for me, I would start Trent. And the reason being, obviously we touched upon it earlier, I would start Jota, I would start Trent. The reason for that, I want to get this game finished off early doors. I don't want any pressure going into the last 10-15 minutes. I'm looking to finish this game by half time. So I'm looking for my players to come out and, similar to the Tottenham game in the Cup at Anfield, I want that sort of passion, that sort of work rate. I want to make sure that this game, by half time, we're 2-3-0 up. We've got the luxury of taking Trent off if we need to. The luxury of taking Jota off if we need to. So I'm going out to win this in the first half, so that's the reason I'm playing Trent, with the view to take him off later on in the game. I'm going Canate, Van Dijk. See how Canate is. I believe he's fine. Van Dijk plays every minute for us. So yeah, no issues there. Left back, I would go Costas on this one. Just purely because I would prefer to play Robertson. I think Robertson's going to be more important for the game against Aston Villa and potentially the game against Man City. So yeah, I think I will play. Look, I'm torn. I've been saying all season that I think Robbo's my preferred left back option, but watching him the other night against Everton, I thought he was poor. He looked like he was inexperienced with the little pushes, with the little sort of kicks and sort of arguing. You saw Arnie Slot at one point when Robertson pushed. I'm not sure who it was in the back. Arnie Slot fell to his knees, head in his hands. Like, that's not what we want to see from Robbo. Like, I get that it's a derby, but you have to be thinking about things constantly, and you more experienced than that. So this one I would start Costas. In midfield, I would go for I don't think we've got many options. I can't see Elliott starting, so we're looking at that three of McAllister, Gravenberch and Szoboszlai. I think that's a no-brainer. I don't think there's anyone who's going to come in and take one of them spots right now. And then the front three, for me, whether Gakpo's fit or not, I wouldn't risk him in this game. I would go Diaz on the left, reluctantly, from his previous performances. But I would go Diaz on the left, Jota up front, and I would go Salah on the right with Gakpo. Gakpo come on and get some minutes, but I would give him his start against Aston Villa, just in that just out of that rotation policy that I think we need to keep up with. In terms of a score prediction, I think this will be a pretty comfortable one. I did say that against Everton, but this is at Anfield. We're at Wolves. We've got a good record against Wolves. I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Liverpool, and I'm going to go for another Mo Salah goal. And I know that's getting boring. He's doing it week in, week out, and there's got to be an argument for him being Liverpool's greatest ever player, and this potentially being the greatest ever Premier League campaign from an individual ever. We'll look at that on more videos in the future. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know your score predictions. Let me know who you think is going to start. I'll see you on the next one.